Hello, welcome to another TV series review, Fortitude Season 2. For those that haven't seen my review for Season 1, I put a link below. Perhaps you should watch Season 1 first if you haven't. Watch my review and then watch Season 2. Season 1 was a huge surprise for me. I had no idea what to expect. I did not know or heard anything about the series, and it was a pleasant surprise. It was a big hit for me. I enjoyed the show immensely. It was my big surprise for 2016. Big surprise. I love it. I recommend that show to everyone. If you're a fan of horror and sci-fi, it has a little bit of Alien. Is in the movie Alien, prehistoric parasite. But I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't seen it. But it is mostly horror mystery with a sci-fi twist. So I was very looking forward to Season 2, and it was one of my biggest disappointment. When I wasn't sure if Amazon was going to carry Season 2. I know there was some kind of change in the distribution channel as far as the show, but when I saw that Amazon offers Season 2 last week, I couldn't wait to binge through it. I binged through Season 1 basically in 2 days because it was so engaging. Season 2, every episode, I felt I can hear myself saying, I hope it get better. And then I watched the next episode and it wasn't. And I keep halfway through the season, I know that the show is not going to get better. I did finish the season, but I must say that as high as I was for Season 1, this is one of the biggest drop, the biggest sophomore slump that I have ever witnessed. Wow. This is a spoiler-free review, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that haven't seen the show. But the problem with Season 2 is not the inclusion of a few new cast members. Dennis Quaid, I felt Dennis Quaid character was perhaps the best part of the show. His son was one of the worst part of the show. Okay, this is not spoiling anything, but the very first moment that he showed up, I felt something was gonna be off with this season. His son showed up in the very first episode wielding a hatchet at someone's head. That was in a convenience store, and his son was swinging a hatchet at a person, aiming to kill. And basically nothing was done, as if like it's not a big deal, go home, sleep it off. It's just a lot of things that went right in the first season went wrong. The cast of the first season was small and tight. The story was tight. In the second season, it seemed like that expand the cast a little bit. For sure, Dennis Quaid and his family, his wife, his daughter, and the whole thing about his daughter was there. To me, it's almost silly to have her as his daughter, one of the policewomen. She was in Season 1. He was not even anywhere in Season 1. So why is there a need to introduce him and introduce the element that she is his daughter? And then his son, like I said, not very good. character right there. And then Daniel. Like I said, it's frustrating because as much as I love season 1, season 2 just has too much plot holes. Season 2 took place a few months after season 1, and so there was a gap. And then, there's the introduction of a pharmaceutical company, some kind of experiment, and then that's not bad. That's actually interesting, but the infuse of supernatural, black magic, voodoo, shaman, that was a part that to me went too far. To me, the supernatural element kind of ruined the show for me. I'm not a big fan of supernatural element, witch doctor, shaman, and the violence of this show. Okay, this show, the first season was for sure part horror. Season 2 was extremely gory with a lot of unnecessary gore, in my opinion. Absolutely, you don't need to see. The show went into, instead of a sci-fi horror mystery, it become a supernatural horror kind of show, and that's a path that did not interest me one bit. It's and the characters, for the majority of the new cast, except for Dennis Quaid, his wife is okay. She got a very small part with very limited speaking dialogue. So his wife was not nothing to be said, but his son not good. The pharmaceutical people not interesting. Their behavior at the end was just way full of nonsense. I mean, like I said, everything had to do with the shaman, with the supernatural element of the show, failed for me, and it pains me to give as high of a mark as I gave season 1. I think I gave season 1 at least an 8.5 out of 10. I haven't watched my review to see what I did back then, but this season I'm gonna give it a 6, and that's generous. 5 is a void. Okay, for those who are familiar with my rating, 5 and below is a void. I'm not saying a void. For some people it might work. For some people that enjoy the supernatural kind of horror, this might be their jams. For me, it's not. I prefer to keep it the sci-fi horror that it was in season 1. Now that I know where the show is heading for season 3, if there is a season 3, I no longer have the lust to watch for season 3. It was a huge disappointment for me. So that's it. That's